The 2026 season is almost here. Yes, that means it's time to talk about rankings. It's time to talk about the tight end position. I'm Matt Donnelly, and this is Fantasy Football Quick Hits. Now at number 24 from the Houston Texans, Dalton Schultz. Yes, I know Keyshawn Boutte just signed there, but we also know that Jaden Higgins, he was lost for the season, so we know that there's some targets available. We also know that Schultz is a reliable, consistent target volume play inside this Houston Texans offense. He offers us a safe floor as a tight end too, maybe a flex option, especially in PPR formats, because of his route running ability and his red zone presence. You could draft him late. You could draft him as a late round, late bye week filler, whatever you want to do. He's not going to kill your fantasy football floor. At number 23, we're talking about TJ Hawkinson of the Minnesota Vikings, another experienced pass catcher who, when healthy, is still productive, especially inside this Minnesota Vikings scheme. Injury history, I get it. It's going to lower his ceiling, but his hands still give him tight end 2 upside in favorable matchups. Take him as a late round value, as a high floor option, or an injury replacement. Call it what you will. He still has the ability to give you double-digit production any given week, especially if the Vikings funnel targets in his direction. Back in 2025, he still had some meaningful games. I'm talking about week number 7. He had 9 targets. Then in week number 15, we're talking about a 21% target share. I mean, the potential there, it still remains for Hawkinson to be a value in fantasy football. At number 22, coming via South Beach, coming via Miami Dolphins, it's Greg Dulcich. We're talking about an athletic tight end with some yards after the catch ability. Now, we have limited proven volume here, so he's kind of a depth kind of play. But Miami's offense, it could create opportunities. We're talking about Malik Willis, who is going to be able to sustain the play because of his legs. That athletic ability at the quarterback position is going to create opportunities for pass catchers to get open. And you're not spending a huge draft capital here to get Dulcich. We're talking about a guy that you're going to get late as a backup tight end who is going to get snaps. I mean, that's the bottom line. We're also talking about inside of Miami Dolphins offense, there's not a lot of proven talent amongst these pass catchers. Thus, the opportunity is there for Dulcich to carve out a huge role moving forward. At number 21 for the New Orleans Saints, Juwan Johnson. Productive Saints tight end, has shown red zone reliability as well as a huge target share when it counts the most. He provides a solid weekly floor for fantasy managers inside this offense. I'm talking late round tight end 2 candidate who's going to deliver consistent PPR production and some touchdowns from time to time. With Jordan Tyson's status up in the air, Johnson is lined to be the second option in the much improved Saints passing game. I mean, despite only 3 touchdowns last season, Johnson averaged 10.7 fantasy points per game and finished as the tight end 12. I mean, you're getting him this late, and he's already proved that he can be a tight end 1 in fantasy. This is a guy that you have to make sure you go out there and you get. At number 20, Bretton Strange of the Jacksonville Jaguars, young ascending tight end in Duval County with a growing opportunity. He offers developmental upside and a path to increase targets. Draft him late as a sleeper who can emerge as a top 12 tight end if the Jaguars' offense improves and he can carve out a larger role. We're talking about competing for targets with the likes of Parker Washington, Jacoby Myers, and Brian Thomas Jr. However, we don't have to worry about Travis Etienne being a factor. At number 19, from the New England Patriots, Hunter Henry. Another oldie, but another goodie. We're talking about a veteran safety valve with very reliable hands for New England. He consistently posts modest but useful production. Safe late round guy. There's a tight end 2. You put him in a flex option in the bye weeks. He's going to move the chains, and he's going to score in the red zone with high variance. At number 18, Darren Waller of the Carolina Panthers. Hey, I get it. We're throwing his name out there. You're like, Matt, what are you talking about? I mean, Waller barely plays, if he plays at all. But you know what? He's still an athletic veteran, still capable of some big plays when healthy for this Carolina Panthers offense. Age and injury risk, they're going to be factors, so I get it. I get why people are afraid of Darren Waller. But his talent, it still remains there. I mean, we're talking a late lottery round, boom weeks here for this Carolina offense. That he's going to generate volume. I mean, we've got Ted McMillan. He's going to get his. Jalen Coker is going to get his. After that, who do we got? Xavier Leggett? Like, come on, man. I mean, we know his time in Miami was short, but his time in Miami, he was actually very, very efficient. Waller averaged 12.5 fantasy points per game. When you remove the games that he left due to injury, he also saw 34 targets, and that resulted in 6 tutties. Can't go wrong with that. Now, number 17, One of my guys, it's Gunnar Helm of the Tennessee Titans. Second-year tight end, stepped into a larger role after roster changes in Tennessee. He showed solid efficiency as a rookie and benefits from a tight end-friendly scheme. Cheap late-round stash, potential breakout candidate, call it what you will, especially if this Titans passing game can improve with Cam Ward now in his second season. Tennessee has improved on the offensive side of the ball. They've got the additions of Carnell Tate. They added Wan'Dale Robinson. But with Chigakonkwo now in Washington, there are an additional 79 targets to spread around. Helm, he finished fourth on this team last season with 55 targets. So at his 55 targets, throw in some of Chigakonkwo's, and now we're playing with some fire here. At number 16, Mark Andrews of the Baltimore Ravens. Proven red zone threat, high upside veteran. Health has been an issue in recent years, but when available, he's still a difference maker. Mid to late round value for tight end one, upside in spurts, strong touchdown potential. The addition of Declan Doyle here in this offensive scheme is going to give Lamar Jackson a little bit more freedom here and some creativity, which means Mark Andrews could be rejuvenated as one of these playmakers for the Ravens. At number 15, it's George Kittle of the San Francisco 49ers. We're talking about an elite run-after-the-catch specialist for the 49ers. He delivers high ceiling weeks despite occasional injury concerns. I mean, it is the way he plays. I mean, the way Kittle plays is going to lend itself to injury and re-injury, or no matter how you want to call it. He plays the game with a little bit of an old-school flair. Now, he's a strong mid-round tight end wide option who can finish top 5 if he were to stay healthy and if this 49ers offense can click. If not for that Achilles injury, Kittle would easily find himself inside the top 10. So if you draft Kittle, make sure you draft a second tight end to hold down the fort until Kittle's ready to come back. But when Kittle comes back, he could help you win some fantasy football championships. At number 14, A.J. Barner of the Seattle Seahawks. Young tight end with opportunity in Seattle's offense. He offers developmental upside and a path to targets, and that is the key here. Late round flyer for tight end 2 production if he wins the starting job and the Seahawks generate volume. I mean, there's no reason not to believe that Barner's not going to be the starting tight end for the Seahawks, but hey, I got to throw it out there as a disclaimer. Now, Barner has the potential to be the second, if not the third option in the Seattle Seahawks passing game after the departure of Kenneth Walker III. We're talking about Barner posting 8 games with 10-plus fantasy points, averaging 9.7 fantasy points per contest, and just missing out on the top 12 last season. At number 13, it's Travis Kelce of the Kansas City Chiefs. Still a high-floor veteran in Kansas City's high-powered attack, despite his age. Now, I'm no ageist here, but hey, I've seen what's been happening the last couple of seasons. He continues to see significant targets and red zone looks. He's still a reliable mid-round tight end who provides consistency and a chance to have some big weeks. With Mahomes, the upside is always going to be there for Kelce, but Kelce has looked like a shell of himself so far through training camp. Maybe he hasn't quite got over that honeymoon phase yet. Now, up next, we take a look at the top 12 fantasy tight ends for the 2026 season. At number 12, it's Dalton Kincaid of the Buffalo Bills. Athletic, pass-catching tight end in Buffalo's offense. He has shown target earning ability and plenty of upside along the way. Solid mid-round pick. Again, tight end 1, tight end 2 production. Huge yards after the catch ability and a very favorable scheme. When healthy, again, this comes down to health for Kincaid. He possesses league-winning upside at this position. He's going to give you that positional advantage without having to spend up for it. Last season, Kincaid ranked first amongst tight ends in the following categories. Targets per route run at 0.27. Yards per route run at 3.19. First downs per route run at 0.151. Fantasy points per route run, 0.70. We're talking about one of the best average separation scores per fantasy points data at 0.088. And he had a 12.3% route win rate. This is literally the most efficient tight end in the league across the board and one of the best route runners and one of the best bangs for your buck you're going to find. Now, at number 11, Jake Ferguson of the Dallas Cowboys. High volume target in Dallas with a strong PPR appeal, has established himself as a reliable producer. Mid-round tight end 1 candidate there who can be consistent with receptions and yards in a very pass-heavy offense. Last season, Dallas ranked among the top 5 in passing yards per game, passing attempts, points scored. You're going to want a piece of this Dallas Cowboys offense, and Ferguson is probably the cheapest option. At number 10, Isaiah Likely of the New York Giants. I mean, hey, we all love ourselves some Isaiah Likely. We're getting to the very startable section here of the show, and he's already teased big-time upside in the past. He's still considered a mid-round breakout candidate, even though we've been considering him a breakout candidate probably for the last 2 or 3 seasons. But he can emerge as a high upside tight end 1 in a Giants offense if it can support him. I mean, we've got Malik Neighbors, but after that, there's really no other real threats in this Giants passing game. I mean, Darius Slayton, Malachi Field. I mean, there's no one else there. I mean, Likely is the number 2 option. Now, at number 9, Dallas Goedert of the Philadelphia Eagles. Reliable, high-floor tight end in Philadelphia's productive offense. He offers steady targets and red zone work. Strong mid-round tight end 1 provides consistency without massive early draft costs, like we're going to see with some of these elite guys. No A.J. Brown? No problem. Goddard splits without Brown have been impressive throughout his career. At number 8, Kyle Pitts Sr. I mean, he's one of those guys that everybody claps when he finally drafts because nobody wants to draft him. And last season, it kind of paid off. I mean, still one of the most talented athletes in the position for the Falcons. I mean, he's improved. His situation's improved. His usage has improved. We have a renewed upside, at least for now. I mean, Tua Tagovailoa is there. I mean, that could change pretty quick. But we got a mid-round, high-ceiling tight end 1 who can deliver elite weeks for this Falcons passing game. From week 13 on, only Trey McBride averaged more fantasy points per game than Pitts. At number 7, Tucker Kraft, Green Bay Packers, ascending young tight end in Green Bay with strong production and athleticism. He's earned his role here. He's earned his seat at this table. We're talking about excellent value here, top 5 finisher in target share and big play ability. Kraft finished inside the top 5 amongst tight ends and fantasy points per game at 14.6. Yards per target over expectation. We're talking about a guy who's led the NFL in yards after the catch per reception since 2024. At number 6, Sam Laporta of the Detroit Lions. Proven producer in Detroit's high-powered offense. Health questions, they do exist, so temper expectations, but the talent, the scheme, it remains elite. In games in which Laporta hit 75% route share, he averages 15.9 points per game. A healthy Laporta is a productive one, especially in this Lions' potent attack. If you're worried about Jameson Williams, don't. In games in which they were both on the field, Laporta earned a 20.5% target share, while Williams was down to 17%. Now let's talk about top 5 here. Let's talk about those elite options, starting with Tyler Warren, explosive second-year tight end who earned a massive target volume share there as a rookie, and he projects once again to be a focal point. Strong early mid-round tight end 1, high reception and yardage upside in a growing offense, especially if Alec Pierce misses time. Tyler Warren is going to be leaned on. And number 4, Harold Fannin Jr. Maybe some think I'm crazy putting him this high, but hey, the impressive second-year tight end was productive as a high-level rookie despite the quarterback issues. Now, those quarterback issues, they're still there in Cleveland, but I'm not worried. We're talking about a guy here, top 8, efficiency, upside, whatever you want to call it. He arguably had the greatest collegiate season we have ever seen in 2024, and then he followed that up with a top 5 fantasy season as a rookie. Fannin's 15.8 fantasy points per game from week 13 to 17. That was the third highest amongst his peers. At number 3, we've heard the hype. Let's go with it. We're going to go with Colston Loveland here to the Chicago Bears. Explosive second-year breakout candidate who dominated late in his rookie season. He has an expanded role, fewer competition for targets there with DJ Moore moving on. I mean, Luther Burden's still going to be there, but he's also battling some injury right now. High upside early tight end 1 who could challenge for the overall tight end 1 spot because of his size, separation, and his volume. Over Loveland's final 12 contests, including the playoffs, the Bears tight end averaged 12.5 fantasy points per game, which puts him in an excellent spot for a year 2 breakout. And number 2, Trey McBride, elite target hog, consistent high volume producer for the Cardinals. He has established himself as a set and forget it tight end 1. We're talking about a premium early round pick who's going to deliver elite receptions, yardage, and reliable weekly scores. I do expect a little bit of regression. That's why Brock Bowers comes in at number 1. Young superstar tight end with unmatched athleticism, target earning ability for the Raiders. We're talking about a funnel offense here in the passing game that's going to come all the way to Brock Bowers. Even after a tougher second year, the talent and the upside, it remains unmatched. I mean, Trey McBride and Brock Bowers, if you take their production of the tight end position and translate it over to the wide receiver position on a points per game basis, they were both top 12 wide receivers. I mean, I think Bowers was equal to that of A.J. Brown, just so you got that out there. Bowers, wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3 in Las Vegas. If Kirk Cousins is under center, it means the volume is even going to be higher. We've seen what he's done with Jordan Reed and TJ Hawkinson in the past. I mean, I don't know how you don't love Brock Bowers. There you have it. That is my top 24 tight end rankings for 2026. I'm Matt Donnelly, and this has been Fantasy Football Quick Hits.